Hey Terror Tribe, this is Evie from Divine Readings with the Gypsy, and today I feel like rambling and doing a tarot talk. So that's what I'll do. I'll ramble away and talk about tarot and everything that's been going on in my life and the kind of a life update, my own playing, not playing cards, but my own tarot deck in the making updates, and I'll be telling you a little bit about everything that's just been going on. What's up? Even though I kind of like to usually keep these kind of rambly topics for my hashtag 2017 videos, and I've gotten a really good routine down, really doing my hashtag 17 be my update videos, just randomly talking about what's up going on in the month and all that stuff. But I feel like so many things has been different and so many things have been shifting. Might as well just let out some steam. Just let out some steam. I am so excited about this deck that I'm making, that it's been everything that I've been doing right now. In between doctor stuff with Judith, she has like a home health house nurse that comes like twice a week. Oh my gosh, that has been crazy. She's been having speech therapists come in like once a week. Oh my god, there's like these stupid appointments that she has right now, and it's like just taking up all my time. Follow-up appointments, check-up appointments, and all that stuff, and it's like exhausting. All these appointments and stuff with her is absolutely exhausting. Yes, she's home and she's stable, but she is still... You just don't know what I've been going through. That's the best way I could explain it to somebody outside looking in, is you just don't know what shit is hitting the fan right now. Right now, honestly, I'm in like that eye of the hurricane. That right now it's kind of calm and everything's going good. Everything is stable, but there's some shit coming around the corner that is just gonna put everything in a complete fuckfest again. In the middle of that, I'm making my own tarot deck. I am confessing that I am probably going to stick to makeplayingcards.com, even though I've noticed that it is the most expensive option. Makeplayingcards.com is the most expensive option, and it's the most expensive platform to do your tarot decks, especially self-made tarot decks. However, I didn't... It kind of gets into funny things, is I didn't necessarily intended this deck that I'm making, this beautiful... I'll show you some images. This is the Lover's card. I didn't intend for this deck or these images to really be massively produced, but I thought to myself, you know, if I'm going to go through the trouble and making these beautiful images for myself and sharing other people my excitement online and everything, might as well just bite the bullet and share my deck with everybody. And all of the canvases that I've been making, by the way, have been on a 8x10 canvases that you can buy at Michael's in bulk, and that was another reason why I chose that canvas, is because you could buy them bulk in like a 5-pack or a 10-pack for like really, really cheap, and it is a very cheap way of doing art and doing... Not really doing art, but doing paintings, if you are into painting like I is. I know that's very bad grammar, but my grammar teacher would totally spank me. But I was thinking, if I was in the first place doing these kind of paintings, in just getting them in the computer and want to make playing cards and making my own personal deck, and this deck is only for me, and I'm going to be ranting and raving about my deck, my deck, my deck. People are going to wonder, where am I going to get this deck? I like your images. I want some of your deck images. I want your deck. And I thought, yes, playingcards.com is a very expensive platform. However, I'm guaranteed that the card stock quality would be very good for tarot. And I could make sure that the cardstock feeling is like that linen playing card stock, like this. It would probably be this size. This deck is going to be shrunk down to that size. And it's going to feel very nice to the fingers, and it has that linen finish and that linen bicycle kind of cardstock. And I would also am trying to make this deck as borderless as I can. And unfortunately, for this deck, or my deck being borderless, comes at a very bad price that I found out very quickly early on. If you notice that my numbers are like, and my images are very centered or very pushed to the center of the deck, that's not an accident. When I was starting to, I got 2-3 paintings in, or canvases paintings in, on playingcards.com. I started out with a Full Magician and the High Priestess. That's what it was. I got like 2 to 3 of my cards in, and I realized, holy shit, an 8x10 canvas is not tarot sized. It is an awkward card size. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I have to repaint my paintings, and or I have to sacrifice my whole images just to make it in tarot size. Like, for an example, if this image, the Fool right here, was in tarot size, I even tried it in the tarot size format to be borderless. It completely cut them off like right in here. Like, there will be like 2 inches of canvas that is just not usable for tarot size. And I'm like, oh, panicking, because I want to utilize my canvas a little bit better than that. That is not good. Not good. And I really wanted this deck to be borderless too. And so I really wanted my deck to be borderless. That was a goal of mine. And a goal of mine was I wanted to have as much card or as much canvas as I can without thinking to myself or panicking like, oh my god, am I going to completely chop off the image here? And I can't have my paintings be ugly either. For an example, let me take the Emperor card. I can't have them ugly either, being just, completely centered, just in case if I was to sell them and making that a little extra money, and I'm going to be having 78 of these kind of puppies laying around, and oh my god, it's already looking like this in my house with 70. And I think, how many cards have I done? Shit. How many cards have I done? 9? 10. I have 10 canvases already laying around, and I have like little stacks like this, and I don't want to stack them like this usually either, because acrylic paints, when they're not sealed, and I purposely am not sealing them right now because I don't know if they're my final copies or not, but once you seal it, I'm not going to go back and paint it. It's already sealed. It's already done. By the time you seal it, it's done. And I kind of want to go keep it unsealed so I could go back in there and touch up colors, or if for whatever reason I said, oh my god, I really hated this card or that card, I need to touch up a little bit in here or there or something like that. I really need to be have my Canvas is all accessible. And I'm kind of showing you my whole deck, what I've made right now. And I'll talk about these images more individually and in depth later. But as of right now, I'm kind of rambling on my creative process on this deck. So yeah, one of my goals of my deck was to have every image borderless. And then I want the cardstock to be good. And I kind of was intending this deck in the first place to be a personal deck for me, not necessarily for mass consumption. And so MakePlayingCards.com, I think going back to my original bragging topic, so MakePlayingCards.com, even though it's the most expensive option, it gives me an opportunity to have the deck that I want, but maybe it's at a higher price, and I could keep it to an limited edition of deck. And that's what I want. I didn't want it to be a mass-produced deck yet, unless somebody like Schiffer or somebody else like US Gaming Systems or something later down the road, it comes along, or I stumble on somebody or a publisher company that could keep my integrity of the images or have thin borders, or if somebody strikes me up a good deal with a bordered edition of this deck or something like that, I would probably mass produce it. But as of right now, I really want to keep it to a limited edition, limited copy. This is really supposed to be a me deck. It's not really supposed to be, no offense to you all, I'm glad that I'm going to be sharing this deck with all of you, but it was not really intended to be shared. But it's just kind of in the creative process, it's kind of like it would be a shame not to share my deck. So, let me show you some of the other images. And that's kind of some of my thought processes so far. I'm just kind of tapping the box of my tarot deck and seeing how big it is. And this image I just released yesterday, which is my Chariot card, and my husband absolutely hates it. And I'm still have a lot of wiggle room with MakePlayingCards.com as far as extra images and extra cards. I might have an alternate Chariot card, and like there's going to be a few. Okay, and this is the other downside to MakePlayingCards.com, but it could be an upside too. MakePlayingCards.com doesn't have a 78 option as in their poker deck size. They do in their tarot deck size, which cuts off all my images. Or you could save a lot of canvas and stuff and have it poker size. So my deck is going to be poker size, unfortunately. But it might be good that way too, because they're not really like the Mary L. I'm not saying it's not like the Mary L. It's not busy. It's not like the Shadowscapes Tarot or the Polina Tarot, where there's a lot of details and a lot of images going on, and there's a lot of whatever's going on. I really have been trying so hard keeping my images simple. Very, very simple. The only deck that I thought of in my head when I was making the deck is like the Raven's Prophecy Tarot in a way. The images are so simple that it's kind of almost crazy simple. Like, you're gonna have that as the Emperor kind of simple. And I think this is going to be the back of the cards, which is a Native American symbol. I love it. I really love it. And these ones have been finished today. This one is the Justice card, and you can already tell that's my handprint. Oh, in the feather, the handprint, very shamanistic. The arrows with a little heart, if you can make it out. This one might be reworked as far as making the heart bigger, but other than that, I'm really fucking happy with that one. It's no stupid lady holding scales. I'm sick and tired of seeing Justice cards with ladies holding scales. And Look at this beautiful hermit card. And he's kind of holding the mason jar kind of like this. And not really being seen either. But I thought that was a really kick-ass hermit idea. And I might redo the numbers here because I realized that the Emperor card has the 4 slashes being numerological, being 4 instead of the X and stuff. So I might redo that. Be the V and 4 slashes like an old Marseille deck or something like that. But I really like the fact that you kind of like this with the mason jar. And that one might be something that might be subject to change later, but I really like some images, and other images I'm like, meh. Like the Justice card, I really, really like it, but I was really feeling drawn to having my handprint, and maybe having, this would make a lot of work for me, but having Judith or one of my girls having their handprint or footprint into the Justice card instead of the this here. That was one of the ideas that I had. That was a kind of a hard slam onto that canvas. I'm not seeing any damages. But some of those kind of things are part of the creative process that I've been going through. That's very watery. I might have to put some more chai mix in there. But yeah, it's going to be about the size of this. This is going to be shrinking down to this. And I really don't know how well that's going to look. So I'm hoping that I could get some sample cards and stuff from MakePlayingCards.com with my images and the backs, and just kind of get a feel of, is this going to even look good in the first place? Because I might have to change my publisher ideas and things like that real quickly. And I have to change that very quickly if that was going to be the reality, because I might lose more of my images, go into a more tarot size, trying to be borderless, and or I have to go to somebody else and make borders on the deck, which will really ruin the integrity of the deck. And there's just some visions that I have that are really awesome, but I don't want to lose some of my things that I want for my deck in the meantime. I don't want to make these compromises in the meantime. And I guess that's a part of being a deck creator now. And some of the things that go into being a deck creator. You don't want to ruin the integrity of your deck. You don't want to do this or that. I can't imagine being some of these other deck creators. But yeah, this deck is going to be probably a limited edition run of 100, 200, whoever. Definitely this deck will be exclusive to whoever pre-orders. The more people who pre-order the deck, the more of these, the more I will order as a limited edition copy. Like, for example, if I have only 50 people pre-ordering the deck, I will only have limited to 100 copies of this deck. If I have like over 500 people pre-ordering this deck, then I might be more inclined to not mass produce, but make a limited edition of 1,000 of the deck. They make 1,000 tarot decks. So that is going to be very, very important that I'm going to tell all of you in my creative process when that time comes, when pre-ordering comes, is that the more people that pre-order, the more not so limited edition this deck will be out to the public. And of course, if I see, I'm going to try not to put copyright images on my deck, even though on Instagram I have been putting copyright images of, even though on Instagram I have been putting copyright images for all of you guys to see my cards and stuff. I'm going to try not to put any copyright images on the deck itself, just because that's another thing that I feel like it would ruin the integrity of the deck in my personal creative process. However, if I do feel like somebody is going to pirate my deck and make it their own and mass produce consumption, I'll definitely lawyer up and say, I got the original prints to prove it. I don't know. I hope nothing like that happens, because I'm already hearing some crazy stories of people trying to take credit for other people's YouTube videos and things like that, and that gets bad. That's just piss poor. People are sad. Well, I'm going to try not to ramble anymore. This was just kind of that J Tarot jumpstart, and I'll talk more intimately about my images on a later time and a later date. I'm probably going to start talking about the images more intimately once the images are final. Like, I could probably say this image is probably final or something like that. So I'm just using it as an example. And once the images are final, I will start posting videos explaining the imageries on the cards and why I chose those imageries, along with writing a guidebook, talking about a little bit more intimate creative processes and some of my other brainstorming ideas that goes along with the deck, and kind of talk about that. I love you all, and you have a good day. Blessed be.